everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Startup Art Therapy. Now, my name is Carrie McCarthy, registered art therapist and licensed professional clinical counselor, and we talk about all things trauma and solutions to trauma. And today we have Lonnie Pourier, who is a social worker at Pineridge Reservations, Pineridge Elementary, Middle School, and High School. And she's going to tell us a lot about what goes on in her schools, the issues that the kids face, the families face there. And we're so happy to have you here, Lonnie. Welcome.
Hello. My name's Lonnie, and I've been a social worker at the school for a while. And I deal with beautiful things, but more sad things, because especially with the high school kids, I have kids that will be sitting in the bathroom somewhere and they'll be crying. So I take them to my office and they'll tell me what happened the night before. And I listen to them. But the main thing is I have to make sure that they're not suicidal, or they have a plan. Because if they have a plan, I need to get them to ER right away and get them some help. And usually IHS will send them out, because we just don't want to lose no more students. And I'm glad they reach out to me to help, so that they trust me so I can help them. I even have kids knock on my office door and say, I need a smudge today. So I'm glad they know what it is to smudge, because before we start our visit, ask them if they have any type of faith. I said, you go to church? And they'll say no. I said, do you go to ceremony or sun dances? And they say no. So a lot of our kids don't have no faith to reach out to when they're at their lowest point of their life, where they just say, I'm going to kill myself. They don't have nobody to reach out to. So then I explain both sides, what it is, and ask if I could smudge them. And I explain to them what the smudge is doing, taking the negative away from them. And then while they're smudging, I kind of just pray over them. So it's good when some of them will return and knock on my door and say, I need a smudge, because now they know where they can go to get some help. But the thing is too, I did work in a dorm for a while too. And that was really tough, because the kids, a lot of them didn't want to go home on weekends. They didn't want to go home Friday. They asked if they could stay, and I wish I could have stayed with them. And just they needed a safe place. They needed food. They needed a clean bed. They didn't want to go home. And there was even some students I was shocked. I thought they had it, you know, like a nice home and everything, but they didn't want to go home. So I'd ask them why, and they say, because my family's drinking, or there's drugs in the house. So there's nothing I could do. They'd have to go home, and then Sunday we start all over again. Here we have to try to help them, let them know they're in a safe place again. But it's tough. It's tough being there. And I'm in junior high right now. That's the age where the kids are like, they're not small no more, and now they have to be little mini adults, going to high school. So it's like they're fighting with who they are. And I think our junior high group of kids is really tough to work with, because a lot of them don't want to listen to you. They don't want to hear what we have to say to help them. They just refuse. They know it all. It's that age. They know everything. So I feel bad, because I really think that's the age we need to focus on, is junior high, and prepare them for high school. Prepare them, it's nothing scary, it's just, I feel bad for them. And like elementary kids, oh my gosh, I just love them to death. These are the cutest little kids, they're just happy. You never know what they're gonna say, they're just, I love our little elementary kids. They're little innocent faces, but innocent, but there's stuff that happened in their lives too, you know. They'll say
Absolutely.
something, and it's like, holy, I need to report this, or I need to get this one some help. We even had a kindergarten walk to school, no shoes in her pajamas. And she walked to school. She wanted to be in school. And she's just this cute little person, you know, just awesome little person. But she wanted to be in school. So she showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many of those children, they need the school for the structure and safety
Yeah.
and even having food. And when I was
Yeah.
doing school-based services for Pineridge Reservation schools back when I was with the federal government and Indian Health Services as a therapist, I would come to the schools and these kids would be brushing their teeth. It was like a school-wide thing. All the kids would be served breakfast and they would brush their teeth, and they'd even have washers and dryers for the kids to come and bring their clothes. They would do lice treatments for the kids. But more importantly, though, let's talk about the suicide epidemic. You guys in 2015 brought me and Startup Art Therapy, which was when I was still just a nonprofit, Indigenous Healing Arts Alliance. This is 9 years ago, brought me to your school, Lonnie. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity to train you and your staff. But let's talk about, why why there's a suicide epidemic, and how is it now? Is it, would you say, still in epidemic proportions, or has it gotten a little better since then?
Well, back then, that was emergency. I mean, it was really, really bad. When I first started work there, I actually have um, I kept notes, all my notes of what I was doing every day. And I'm pretty sure we had like 30 something suicides on the Pineridge Reservation, and two were in our elementary. And now when I look at it, I'm like, jeepers, all these people are gone, and it was so, so bad. And that's when I just got done with school and excuse me, with college. And I was like, what am I getting into? But just thinking of my, the way I am, I just jumped right into it, and I'm still there today. But at the same time, it's not as bad as it was then, but there's a lot of attempts. And we have one special lady that's always there, always at night. She's out there. She's helping, she's reaching out to the kids. So when we're all going to bed, she's getting up and doing her job. She really helps all the kids out there.
That's Oh, that's very good. And tell me, what do you think is happening for these children, why they're becoming suicidal, and is is it always attempts, or is it a cry for help?
It's a cry for help, but a lot of it too is hopelessness. I did, a lot of home visits, and there's times I walk in the home and I'm like, how can somebody live here? And then I see the little kids running around. And we have one student, um, he was sleeping in a car. And we would go pick him up, and we finally got him into the dorm, so that now that's his home during the week. He'll stay in the dorm. But when you ask him, what's the he's the type of person, he's a special ed student, but he wouldn't know the difference between a shack and a mansion. To him, it's the same. And I bought him a big, bag of clothes, brand new shoes. And I looked at his and I said, boy, your shoes really need to be changed. And he really tells me, I'm okay. I'm okay. He was very happy with what he had. He didn't want no new clothes. And that's just the way he is. So when I do go pick him up, and it's sad, but he doesn't, that's the way he wants to live.
That's
So, and then he
beautiful.
walks around in the summertime on the street. And I said, aren't you afraid? He goes, nope, nobody bothers me. And that's just what he walks around. But like even now, I won't even go out at night no more because it's scary to walk around. I mean, I don't walk around Pine Ridge. I mean, just like going to the store or the gas station. But it's scary because some of you see some of our youth out there, and they're higher than a kite. And like one day I seen this girl so messed up, I just called 911 because I didn't want nobody else to get a hold of her. And
Yeah.
I watched how the police officer showed up. But our kids are so into drugs right now, and drinking. They buy this bottle of Skips. It's water and vodka. We can't even have water bottles at school no more. But they're a lot of them are doing this too, because when they come into my office, they says they feel hopelessness. They don't feel like they have a future, and they do drugs or they drink to get rid of the pain. And I have to tell them, do you want to be like the person down there on the street? And a lot of them accept it, and it's sad. And these kids are beautiful, they're smart, they can do things. I mean, you don't have to go to college, you can go to VOTEC, you can get a training, and that's what we try to focus on them. Let them see there's a big world out there, not just Pineridge, Rapid City, Chadron, the local cities. It's a big world out there. And we do have students that are going off, to colleges, and they're succeeding. I see them on Facebook, and it's just awesome to see these Lakota students out there making it. It's cool.
Yes, that's I'm so glad that you are helping them see that there is a future and there is a bigger world, because it's totally true, Lonnie. And one of the things about racism and how it can be so dangerous is when it's internalized. And South Dakota is, very infamous for being a very racist red state. And even the governor here has banned textbooks that educate about what the real history that happened between Native Americans and the white colonizers here. So it's, she's not a big proponent of Native Americans, and what the victory is. I've heard that you guys actually made it so she was not allowed on your sovereign lands. Is that true?
Come here. We don't want her. And other
Great.
reservations too, not just ours.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. But that's one of the things we have to turn around, right? And we have the opportunity by using art therapy in the classrooms to rebuild the neural pathways so children actually can access that prefrontal cortex that allows them to start getting out of the suffering and just, trying to survive and get into resilience and thriving and being able to understand that there is a bigger world out there and they belong and they have a place in it. But the danger of the racism and what's constantly being bombarded is, that futurelessness. I'm just a dirty Indian, I don't matter in this world. And then the abandonment, neglect by their parents, compounded with that, and we see the epigenetic transmission of historical trauma and how that can affect the DNA and create the intergenerational trauma. So there's so many different layers that need to be dismantled and healed here. But we do have an opportunity to heal this, and I'm just glad that you are on the front lines and doing this good work. Question: how do you think social media and all the kids having phones plays into some of this?
Well, the first thing for everybody is there's no communication. That's gone. You can walk into someone's house and everybody's on their phone. No one visits. And they could even be standing next to the person that they are friends on Facebook or whatever. And they don't even talk. It's just sad, because sometimes they should just need to put the phone down and go outside and enjoy Mother Earth, enjoy going outside. Everybody wants to play video games, and it's just, I always think of what's going to happen when electricity goes out. Man, everybody's going to be screaming. What do? We talk.
Right.
Yeah, they took over our life, the phones.
Right. So I could see how that's, yeah, definitely diminished the fabric, the social fabric of your culture, because it's certainly, very much damaged white culture, any cultures really, but especially the social fabric of the Lakota and all indigenous people, is so important. And when that starts kind of disintegrating, how it disintegrates, an entire culture as well, and a society. But also some of the material that these kids are absorbing that are very unhealthy behaviors and perceptions like body image, or, oh, I need to, be more like this person. And you see how it's really created generations of very superficial kids that don't even know who they are anymore.
Yeah, like a 12-year-old today, she could look like a 20-year-old, and it's different, way different from when we grew up. And I mean, like, even when there's a fight, it's being recorded, you know. Nothing, I mean, and other things, nothing sacred anymore. There's always somebody has a phone.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. Because that's how, I can keep up with the youth, see what's going on in the world. But at the same time, I mean, I walk down a hallway too in the school, I see they're just talking on their phone or watching their phone and walking. I was like, geez, I can't even walk in. I have to stop and look at my phone because I'm so clumsy.
Well, there's a lot of deaths that are happening because of that. Kids are just crossing out into the street and get hit by
Yeah,
cars because they're just, you know. Um,
yeah.
so tell us a little bit more about, being on the reservation, you know, the hard things about that too.
Um, my hardest thing is, I hate to say it, but I try not to go out no more when it's dark because during the day, I mean, you can just go to the post office, the store, and you're always getting hit up. Sister, auntie, I need some change. I need a ride. I need some food. We've all heard those excuses. And there's some that when you don't give them money, then they get mad. Then they'll start cussing you out. But my line is when they're always asking for money, I always tell them, you know what? I help the kids. And usually they'll walk away. But there's some will say, well, you're not helping me. I said, well, I'm helping your kids. And that kind of must hit something on them because then they turn away. But that's true. If I have any extra money, it goes to the kids. You should see my office. It's full of shoes, it's full of coats, it's full of clothes, snacks, everything for the kids that they need, you know, and they all know it too. One could something happen to their pants, I need a pair of pants, and then they go in my room and I said, go ahead, go shop and pick what you need. But my door is always open for the students to come in and get what they need, or if they just want to vet. And so today or yesterday, I put on Facebook, I said, I told one of the supervisors at school I was going to do this, ask for school supplies. So the students don't have to worry about buying all this stuff. And the teachers don't have to worry about buying it. So I asked for donations. Oh my gosh, you should see the response. I know when I get back, I'm gonna have boxes all over in my room again, but it's for the students. I'm gonna have them in backpacks and just say, here you go, you're all ready for school. Because in January, I did the same thing. A lot of kids are coming to my room and I was running out of coats. I didn't have a lot of coats and it gets cold here in South Dakota. So I did that. I went on Facebook and asked for a coat drive. It blew up. I mean, oh my gosh, everybody was helping me. There's so many cool people out there. I had so many coats I couldn't even put them anywhere. So I started giving them to other schools, organizations, churches. I even donated a bunch of them to Kyle at the Rose Fraser's program. So Yate Techa, I forgot the last word, sorry, Rose. But she has a lot of stuff out there too. I mean, it was just so overwhelming. And then kids, each classroom were coming to my room and I just put coats on them. They all left with new coats. And they were warm and they were happy. And so I want to just thank all the people out there that donated. A lot of this stuff I could do without them, with their big hearts. I just wopi to all of them. They're so awesome.
Wow, thank you for all of your hard work and your heart. And I've known you now for 10 years, Lonnie, and you're just amazing. You're just a pillar in the community. And you almost died during COVID. You had to get helicoptered, and I mean, you were on oxygen. It took you years to recover. And I just, the way that you have pulled through that is so beautiful, and that you still are there for the children.
Yeah, today, when you said that, I just like, oh, got all teary eyed. I mean, I don't realize how much it still bothers me. But today I have lung disease from COVID. I never smoked in my life. I was in 10 weeks in Lincoln, Nebraska, and when I came home, I still had double pneumonia. So it took me a while. I couldn't even come up my stairs. My son had to carry me up my stairs because I couldn't even move. They had to teach me how to walk. My hair fell out. I was one of the first ones, when it first came out, it was bad. And yeah, so today I just feel like, what if I died? Who would have did all this, what I'm doing now? So it's almost like a second chance where I just got to keep being there for the kids. I'm their feet. I run around for them. I'm their mouth. I speak up for them. I love our students. I love our students so much.
You are an incredible example of how all Lakota women should be, and protectors of the children, because we're life bearers, life bringers. And I just have so much respect for you. So thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. And it's been really a beautiful interview. Oh, excuse me. It's been a beautiful interview with you. And so thank you so much for being here and taking your time today. And how can people reach you if they want to reach out to you directly? And if they, want to come and volunteer their time, or, send things for the children of Pineridge Reservation, how can they contact you?
You just contact the Pineridge High School. I think the number is 605-867-5821. Um, I'm always there. I mean, they're really good about locating me. My office is in the back of the school. I have my own little office back there. And anybody's welcome, I'll show you around campus, or, wherever whatever you need, I can help you. And I'm always helping, even adults. I'm there for everybody.
Oh, you're so sweet. So yes, get that number, and I can put it in the link and to this video if you want Lonnie, and then they can contact Lonnie Pourier. So
Thank you.
thank you again, Lonnie. You are amazing.
And so are you. I hope to see you at our school soon.
Yes, we are in the works of trying to get another training happening there. So hopefully that happen soon. All right.
Okay.